think it's good for us to play the last game at home against one of the best teams, I will say, in this country, United, what they represent in the Premier League. And, you know, we will want to give a really good performance. I think our fans deserve that, and that is what we will try to do.
I'm positive that the players want to get things right and show and prove to everybody that they are capable to play a lot better than we did at Brighton. Yeah, and I'm also positive that they would much rather play in the Europa League than in the Conference League. I mean, this should also be an incentive for everybody to make sure that we qualify for Europa League, the least on Sunday.
I think they've done fantastically well since Davy's gone there, that's for sure. He's done a fantastic job. I think the fact that he hasn't really been spoken about this year tells you just how well he did last year and how almost it's become a bit of the norm. But he's still a semi-final in a major European competition and top 7 in the Premier League. I mean, considering where they were when he arrived, he's done a wonderful job.
Brighton are in really good form. I like Graham Potter's work. I like Brighton's work. I think their model is very good. Again, I always sort of say there's different ways where you can do things in football, there's different ways you can play in football, you know, your style. If all the styles in the Premier League were exactly the same, we'd all be bored by it. If all we done was spent money, every club, then it would get fed up, because it's good to see clubs who are underdogs and clubs who do it different ways. I think Brighton have a really good model, and I really like the work they do.
It's maybe a miracle that we are in top 3 for the whole season without these key players, because we missed them for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it never stopped for us. So, you know, the top teams, Liverpool bought a fantastic player in winter to make the existing squad stronger. Man City signed Haaland already to make the existing squad stronger. We are losing players, so. At the moment, my focus is to build a strong team and to see what's even possible, and then we think about how we close the gap.
I'm very disappointed, of course, that didn't work out, but it doesn't alter the fact that I always knew that whatever happened on the 22nd of May, I was going to free myself from the burdens and the responsibilities of being a Premier League manager. But you never know quite what's going to come your way, and all the time I remain healthy and fit enough to do jobs. If any get offered to me, I suppose I have to consider them, but I don't anticipate it.
I think we're getting a little bit of consistency back. That's been the challenge for us this season with the pandemic and players out. It's been hard to get a consistent sort of level of performance. So consistently, yeah. The last couple of wins have been really good. Scored goals, defended well. Tonight, we had to show a different side to our game. Scored a great goal, but had to defend against a really good side. So that gives you confidence. And like I say, we'll play differently at the weekend, and hopefully finish with a win. And then it'll be a good end to the season for us.
For us, an important one, like everyone, because we want to end up in a good way to get a little bit of a positive feeling before we go into the summer break. Because, as you know, the last results haven't been that good. So another chance for showing up, another chance for getting a better result. And yeah, I guess a team that is in good form, and we struggle a little bit of getting results.
Well, let's begin with Crystal Palace taking on Manchester United. It is a new era at Manchester United for next season, but still one more push, Tim. They can still qualify for the Europa League, but they need to better West Ham's results, essentially. Can they do it?
I think they can, yeah. I think they have the players to be able to do it. They're a dangerous team. Palace, as we saw last night, the capitulation in the second half won't do their confidence any good. But Patrick will want to win that game because he'll want to finish the season well also. You know, it's not a good finishing position for them, you know. So I think Patrick will want to take maximum points, but I think Man United surely have the firepower to beat them and get Europa League. Because if they don't get Europa League, it's Europa Conference League. You know, it's different if it's 7th or 8th, because I think Ten Hag quite like missing 7th. You know, and just to have a clear week to work with a new group of players might do him a favour. but they're going to play European football, whatever happens. So you might as well finish in Europa League.
How big a task does Erik ten Hag have on his hands, Andy?
Well, a really big one. I think, as we can tell by the fact that he's binned off a promotional trip to the Caribbean with Ajax.
Know what I'd be doing.
Yeah, exactly. To take on his new job. I think he realises that there's a lot of work to be done. I think in terms of the Conference League next season, that might actually help him. I think he'll be able to get a closer look at younger players, and at the same time spend a bit more time coaching the seniors, because Manchester United will be able to breeze through the groups in that without putting their full team out. So I think that will help them. I also don't think they're going to win at Crystal Palace this weekend. I think Palace have had a great season and they'll cap it off.
OK, well, if Manchester United don't win at Selhurst Park and West Ham, your former side, do win at the Amex, David, it means that West Ham will secure Europa League football for back-to-back seasons. How much of an achievement will that be for David Moyes' side?
Well, of course West Ham are going to win, aren't they? Yeah, I think when you saw that semi-final and what's been happening at London Stadium and the atmosphere that West Ham's home ground has created now, and there was a lot of moans right at the beginning, it was the wrong place to go. What the Europa League brings to football clubs like West Ham, they'll be desperate to win that game, and I think they can. With regards to United, of course, I think they'll lose as well. To Crystal Palace, and there'll be a few Icelandic viewers here hoping that Man United draw an Icelandic team in the Europa Conference next season. But yeah, with the guy at West Ham, David Moyes, superb. Felt for him having to decide, it was Sophie's choice whether we go for the league qualification or try and win the Europa League. Trophies over, league position perhaps, but yeah. Great opportunity for them.
Yeah, but Brighton won't be pushovers because they've secured their best ever finish in the Premier League so far, but they're going to want to stay in that top half of the table, Tim, aren't they?
Absolutely. We talked about Potter early on in the season. We were talking about Man United, maybe wherever he wants to go, England manager, and then no one wanted to touch him with a barge pole. All of a sudden he's come back to form. And the team has been outstanding. You don't become a bad manager overnight. It's just the consistency. And when you get a better quality of players, you get that level of consistency. This guy's a top manager, top training ground manager. And I think that they get this result. I really do. I think they'll be difficult for... They're playing to their hands, West Ham. There'll be nice wide open spaces. They'll suck up the pressure. And they'll just catch them on a counter-attack. Brighton win this game.
OK, right. Chelsea against Watford and Leicester Southampton. The two matches this weekend that don't actually have anything specifically riding on in terms of what you can qualify for. How would you summarise both Chelsea and Watford's seasons, Andy?
Watford, I really don't know what there is to say. They need a restart. They're doing that with a young coach, which I think is a positive thing for them. But the season has been a mess. Chelsea, I think, have done OK. Of course, it feels like they've lived several separate seasons because so many different things have gone on. There've been the Lukaku issues. There've been them drawing too many games either side of Christmas. Then there've been the government sanctions more recently. But they do still have an exceptional squad at their quality, just not quite at the same level as Liverpool and Manchester City, which I don't think you can blame them for. OK, and finally, Leicester Southampton. What can they both hope to achieve next season to improve on?
Wow, they're not even having a game now. Straight on to next season. Well, two really poor seasons. Let's be right. Any kind of improvement. I know Kasper Schmeichel at the beginning of this season was talking about them becoming a dominant side. So, with regards to the game on the weekend, loads and loads of goals. But with regards to next season, total rebuild, I think, for both sides. OK, right. We are almost at the end of our final show of the season, but we have just got time for some pundit predictions. And Tim Sherwood is in the hot seat. He chose the final show of the season to finally do some predictions for us. Let's take a look, Tim. Here we go, Tim. Go on then, talk us through these. So, in terms of the title, that's the most important thing. Let me just start on this one. Jules, I'll just start. Like, did I just say about a minute ago, Brighton will beat West Ham? Yes, you did. OK, so I went for 2-2 there. When did you do these? Yeah, listen, I think... Man United, I've gone for Palace there, so I don't know, I must have forgot my predictions all along. Liverpool will get the job done, but also Man United will, so we're looking at them as champions. And if you look down at the... 6-0, Chelsea, wow. Yeah, what way to go out? If they're lucky, if Watford are lucky, that'll be 6-0.
They are. Last week, they were the worst team I'd seen in the Premier League for a very long time. Just absolutely thrown the towel in, which is not acceptable for a manager of the quality of Roy Hodgson.
And according to these predictions, Tim, you've got Leeds to go down then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have, yeah, unfortunately. And Tottenham to finish in the top 4.
Absolutely.
And Alisson to get the Golden Gloves.
Yes, there you go.
With a clean sheet.
Because they're neck and neck going into the final game, Ederson and Alisson, on who's going to keep the most clean sheets. Well, I wonder what will happen, because there's still so much to play for going into the final day of this Premier League season. There have been plenty of highs and lows. Let's hope the final day of the season delivers exactly that again. Tim, David, Andy, thank you very much for your company on the final weekend preview of the season. Enjoy those last games. We will soon be finding out whether the Premier League trophy will be red or blue. See you next time. Bye-bye.